Elder dragons throughout Monster Hunter continue to be the most profound beings that we have discovered both in the old world and the new world, and to this day, we still cannot describe how these creatures are able to use their special abilities. Even though these creatures have their own unique abilities with one another, they do share one ability that allows them to survive both the old world and the new world even when encountering hunters. And today, we are going to take a look at this particular ability that all Elder Dragons share regardless of what kind of species these Elder Dragons are. Let's go ahead and take a look. Hey everyone, Cartapinoyx here once again, back with another Monster Hunter video, and today we're going to be exploring a very unique ability that is shared with all Elder Dragons throughout Monster Hunter that allows them to survive for a very long time despite some of these creatures actually being slain by hunters or even other powerful creatures. Now this unique ability does degrade over time, and eventually these creatures will die away, as we have seen in the new world with some of the decaying monsters that created certain regions of the new world. However, at the same time, this unique ability, especially for younger Elder Dragons, seem to be very potent, allowing them to survive any dangerous encounters both in the old world and the new world, allowing them to thrive despite the fact that these creatures are actually quite rare in terms of their population. So what exactly is this unique ability that I'm talking about that all Elder Dragons share? So this unique ability that we're going to be looking into that all Elder Dragons potentially share is none other than the ability of revival, the ability to resuscitate oneself after being potentially killed either by other monsters or even a hunter. Now I'm sure some of you might be asking, really? The ability of revival? That's a rather bold claim, isn't it? And you're right, it is a rather bold claim. But at the same time, we're not talking about regular monsters in the series that revive themselves like a flying wyvern or a brute wyvern, or even a fanged beast or fanged wyvern at that. We're talking Elder Dragons here. We're looking at creatures that even to this day, some of the researchers, the oldest researchers in both the old world and the new world, still consider to be very mysterious, and they still don't know anything about it in terms of their innate abilities and biology. So at that moment, the ability of revival no longer feels like an actual bold claim if you link it to Elder Dragons. Now what we're going to be looking into in this particular video is evidence of Elder Dragons potentially reviving themselves in the series, and then after that, we're going to be taking a look at the potential advantages and disadvantages of the ability of revival to get a better understanding as to how it affects an Elder Dragon altogether. So let's first go ahead and take a look at the evidence that we have regarding Elder Dragons reviving themselves. So the first creature that is considered as an Elder Dragon that we have seen in the series that does potentially have the ability to revive itself in 4th generation is none other than Gore Magala and Magala of Monster Hunter 4. I'm sure many of you have gone through the storyline of Monster Hunter 4 if you're a veteran hunter, and you may notice how some of the characters treat Gore Magala as a singular entity during the village quest rather than a separate entity from Magala. They always treat it as if Gore Magala, the one that we have been fighting this whole time, eventually evolved into Shagaru. Now if this is the case scenario, what we could be seeing here is that the Gore Magala that we have slain during the village quest eventually revived itself in order to go through the secluded areas of the old world and then eventually evolve into Shagaru Magala. This would explain as to why the cutscene at the very end of Monster Hunter 4 storyline actually feels a little bit more personal in comparison to some of the other hunts that we have seen during that game's storyline. It does feel like the Shagaru Magala was gauging us as if it already encountered us to begin with. So this would explain the very personal fight between the hunter and the Gore Magala during Monster Hunter 4 storyline. The next creature that we're going to be looking into is none other than the infamous black dragon, that is the Crimson Fatalis. Now for a black dragon, it makes a lot of sense that these creatures can revive themselves because they have a lot of innate power. Now with Crimson Fatalis, we encounter this creature in 4 Ultimate as a caravan quest in high rank and we effectively slay it. Alongside this, we can also encounter Crimson Fatalis in G rank with a drastically different look and a drastically different ability. Now, according to the 15th anniversary booklet, the actual Crimson Fatalis that we fight in high rank was the exact same one that we fight in G rank as well, meaning that this creature basically evolved over time when it became a G rank monster. So how is it that we've slain it back in high rank, but then all of a sudden it's back in G rank, angrier than ever before? This is where the revival theory really kicks in well for a black dragon, because now it encounters the exact same hunter that has slain it back in high rank, and it's angrier than ever before, and it's just going to let loose all of its fiery capabilities in order to decimate that exact same hunter that had slain it back in high rank. So it makes a lot of sense that this becomes yet another personal combat between the Crimson Fatalis and the hunter that basically killed it previously in high rank. Now, so far we have only looked at text evidence of these creatures reviving themselves, meaning that there's no actual visuals to portray the revival of an elder dragon after being slain. However, within Iceborne, this is the very first time we effectively see an elder dragon revive itself right in front of us. During the storyline of Iceborne, we slay both the Ruiner Nergigante and Shada Ishvalda consecutively. However, as we go through the very end cutscene of Shada Ishvalda's fight, we actually see this creature rise up from the ground once again, right in front of the Research Commission. We slain the Shada Ishvalda, but all of a sudden, it started to get back up as if it was never slain to begin with. So the revival process of Shada Ishvalda kicked in quite quickly. Alongside this, the Ruiner Nergigante bursted out of the ground and into the air and dive bombed Shada Ishvalda, another elder dragon that had a very quick revival process. So both of these elder dragons, one after another, started reviving themselves until eventually Ruiner Nergigante delivered the final blow against Shada Ishvalda so that this creature can no longer revive itself. So this is the very first evidence that we have seen throughout the entire series of any elder dragon effectively reviving themselves after a hunter has slain them. So now that we have seen both visual and text evidence of elder dragons reviving themselves in the series, what are the advantages and disadvantages of this ability, and how does it affect an elder dragon? The biggest advantage that we have seen with this particular ability is a prolonged lifespan. Many elder dragons can live for an extensive amount of time in comparison to a regular monster that can't actually revive itself, meaning that these creatures can live for so long that some of them have existed all the way back to ancient civilization times. So the ability of revival does affect an elder dragon in terms of their age. Alongside this, any elder dragon that goes through revival actually has a lot of experience in combat against other monsters, and more importantly against hunters, thus making them quite powerful in terms of their abilities, especially with regards to taking down hunters. So this does make them more powerful as well. However, having said all of this, there is a big disadvantage, and that is the fact that the revival capability is not 100% reliable. This means that there is going to be a caveat between the Elder Dragon's overall power and how many times they can revive themselves. We actually see this particular disadvantage during the Shada Ishvalda cutscene. The Shada Ishvalda was able to revive for one time, but then when Ruiner Nergigante delivered a very deadly blow against its neck, it wasn't able to rise up again. So there is going to be that disadvantage of the revival capability not being 100% reliable. This would explain why Elder Dragons can still pass away, especially in the new world where their bioenergy becomes part of the ecosystem. Now, as a final note, the research behind Elder Dragon's revival have also extended towards other monsters as well, meaning that I've also looked into any other creatures outside Elder Dragons that could potentially revive. Unfortunately, my research has come up short with any creatures outside of Elder Dragons that might have the ability of revival. Now, with all of that being said, however, if you do have any evidence of any other creatures outside of Elder Dragons that may have the ability of revival, do let us know in the comments below so we can go ahead and take a look at some of these creatures to get a better understanding how they are able to revive themselves in the process, unlike that of Elder Dragons. And that is pretty much it for this video, taking a look at the very unique ability that all Elder Dragons share in the series that allows them to live for a very long time. If you do have any other theories outside of revival for Elder Dragons that allows them to continue fighting on, do let me know in the comments below. And once again, if you have any other creatures in the series that may have the potential for revival, do let me know in the comments below what these creatures are so that we can take a look at them in future as well to get a better understanding how they're capable of revival throughout the entire series. Now, with all of that being said, if you enjoyed these videos, please consider leaving a like on the video itself and subscribing to the channel, as well as hitting that bell icon so you can go ahead and catch up on any future Monster Hunter content that I might be doing or any other games that I might be playing in future. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Onward and upward.